Welcome, friends. Today we are going to continue the lecture on the citizenship, which we have already discussed. But the difference between this lecture and the earlier is that in the earlier part we have covered what are the grounds under which a person has been conferred citizenship by the constitution directly. And today we are going to discuss what are the statutory grounds available to acquire and lose the citizenship under the Citizenship Act 1955 and the recent amendment, controversial amendment, one may call it, 2019. Let us go back to citizenship. How to acquire citizenship? There are 4-5 ways to acquire the citizenship. First mode is to get citizenship by way of birth. Whomever you are, if you are not illegal migrant and your parents have given birth to you in this country, then you can be granted citizenship in this country is concerned because they are not illegal migrants. On the other hand, you have been given birth in this soil. Either of your parents are Indians or your parents are Indians. Naturally, you can be given citizenship by way of birth. Next one is registration. Registration, people can acquire citizenship by way of this can also operate by way of certain legal mechanism, operation of fact or operation of law, people call it. Say example, a person has been adopted, a person has been married, thereby you are creating blood relationship through law. It's not natural, but through legal mechanism you are creating relationship. Say example, marriage. If X marries a girl from a German national, and then that German national married to X in India, can acquire citizenship by way of registration. But for that, she needs to fulfill certain conditions, like she has to be stayed at least for a minimum stipulated period. That goes, I feel, minimum 5 years, okay, or 7 years, something like that. It goes like that. And then we have this, when the territories are acquired by the government of India, very recently you know that Bangladesh and India had entered into exchange agreement, 100th amendment, please go through that. And we have exchanged certain territories between India and Bangladesh. So whatever territories India has acquired, those who are residing there can be automatically granted de jure citizenship in this country. And whatever territories have been transferred to Bangladesh will automatically lose their citizenship. Of course, they may get the citizenship of Bangladesh, but that is up to their country. And we are not for the timing discuss about all those things. Then another process called naturalization. Again, this is very important. This naturalization is yet another mode. This is not connected with either of the mode which we have already discussed. There is no legal relationship there is no legally created blood relationship, or there is no blood relationship. You are not born on this country, your territory has not been acquired, but even then you can acquire citizenship in this country. This is called naturalization. For that, the person should have discontinued his citizenship in the relevant country. Then you should have applied for that in the prescribed format, at least for a minimum period of 14 years, cumulatively speaking. 11 years you should have stayed in this country. Then you should fulfill other conditions as stipulated by the law from time to time. If he does all these things, he or she can get the citizenship in this country is concerned. This is typically the 1955 Act speaks about all these things. And it is not the first time that this act has been amended in 2019 alone. We have got amendments in various occasions like 1986, 1992, somewhere else in 2000s like 2005, etc. And this 2019 amendment, people view with little suspicion or little controversy. There may be justified reasons, there may not be justified reasons, which we are not going into all those things as of now. But please remember that even earlier, there is something called dual citizenship has been brought in this country, something called OCI. And we have excluded certain countries. In the beginning, large countries have been excluded through notification, but slowly we have excluded only Bangladesh and Pakistan, something like that. I think now Pakistan is the only excluded country under that. So there is also pick and choose mechanism, but it has not been dubbed as controversy as it is today. Now let us come back to this Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. Let us go back slowly to the history. This is not suddenly brought out. This is a well-planned, calibrated move on the part of the executive. They have issued two notifications respectively in 2015 and 16, exempting these migrants from Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And who are these people? These government believes that they are all being religiously persecuted by these Islamic countries, therefore they can be granted citizenship. What is the cutoff date they fix it? The cutoff date they fix is by 31st December 2014. So any person has entered into this country from the aforestated countries on or before 31st December 2014 will automatically granted citizenship by virtue of 2019 amendment. This is very important. Now let us go back to the other important key features of 2019 amendment. As we have stated, like Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Parsis, Christians, they are all termed as religious minority for the purposes of this act. It should be remembered, nowhere else the act mentions that they are given citizenship since they are religiously prosecuted in their country. There is nothing called objective clause in this 2019 Amendment Act, but there is a mention only in the statement on the reasons clause in the bill. That's it. So the act doesn't speak anything about it, but it simply creates a proviso that the persons from aforestated countries will be granted citizenship. That's it. And then it also grants certain relaxation for these people. First thing, it gives exemption from the Foreigners Act and the Passport Entry into India Act. Okay, this is very important. And in case if there is any pending cases against aforestated persons, then these cases will automatically get terminated de jure because of this operation of this law. This is very important. And then it also gives one more concession to these people in order to grant them citizenship smoothly. It reduces the period from 11 years. I think, please remember, we have discussed about all these things on the grounds pertaining to naturalization. For naturalization, you need minimum 14 years. Out of that 14 years, at least 11 years consecutively you have stayed in this country. That 11 years mandatory period has been just reduced for a period of just for 5 years, to facilitate for the aforestated religious minority people to acquire citizenship in this country. Now let us focus to this exemption part. First, these people cannot be granted citizenship in the certain parts of northeastern regime such as Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, etc. for 3 states, because there is something called inner line permit. Even Indians cannot enter into those states as of now without getting legal permit to enter into this state. So therefore they cannot be granted citizenship and they cannot settle over the aforestated territories of India. Next point, that these people cannot get the citizenship and settle in the 6th schedule covered under the constitution. Almost many areas are coming under the northeast under the 6th schedule, including Assam, but however a few districts alone comes under the 6th schedule. That's why Assamese are afraid that their cultural practices and other things can be dominated and taken away by the Bengali speaking people. That is a reasonable apprehension. And then it also brings one more important amendment relating to OCI. It says that there are a lot of ways to cancel these OCI card, but it adds a new ground that it's very, very simple. If any person granted OCI under this country violates any law for the time being in force. This is very, very important. Previously, it mentioned at least 3 years imprisonment within the first 5 years. That is a specific ground, right? If the citizenship OCI card has been obtained by way of fraud, something like that, specific grounds. But this amendment adds a new ground, very vague and wide enough to be misused, or arbitrarily it can be used by the central government. So, example, it states that any person granted OCI under this country violates any law for the time being in force. Note the term any law. This is what causing concern for all of us. So, example, if he simply violated traffic rule, can it be a ground to terminate his citizenship? Even it may be accidental. But the only small satisfaction what it provides, that you will be provided an opportunity of being heard. It's a ritual sometimes, but depends upon the tribunal how it acts or how it takes it. So these are all the few amendments brought by the 2019 amendment. The critics raise firstly whether countries like India, which has adopted secularism strictly, can we consider religion as a sole ground for conferring citizenship? Secondly, what is their contribution to the Indian economy? What is the ground on which the government of India has come to such a conclusion? And people often refer this Delhi Pact or Delhi Declaration between Jawaharlal Nehru and Liaquat Ali of Pakistan. But India has also entered into similar agreement with during Shastri regime. Sri Mao Bandaranaike and Shastri Pact, they call it. And these are all half-heartedly implemented always. So people raise the question, why you don't give citizenship from Burma, from Sri Lankan Tamils, all these things. In fact, Sri Lankan Tamils case is totally different. They have been compelled by the then Britishers to go and settle in Sri Lanka, compulsorily. And they have every right to come back because they are the descendants of erstwhile Indian parents. But somehow they couldn't get it, all these things. So the criticism keeps going like this. However, we may hope the final arbiter is the Supreme Court of India. They will take a right decision to protect the interest of the Constitution and interest of the nation in a fitting manner. Thank you all. God bless you.
Stop button.